Good morning, everybody. I just got done grading your topic 5 entries, and I found the conversation to be really interesting. I particularly enjoyed seeing which issues you thought we should use the precautionary principle for, and which issues you felt we could avoid it or postpone that kind of rush to judgment, and your reasoning for that. Since you've all read that, I won't go back over there, that material. I just wanted to make a point about something that came up. I saw in a couple instances the conversation turning toward issues of how we justify or do not justify a particular thing. One of the issues that came up is the tension between economic livelihood and also the environmental impacts. And what I want to have you think about is the distinction between how we use or frame our arguments and what's really going on. So even though it's not an urban environmental issue, because it's a really clear, easy one to use, I'm going to ask you to think about the forestry industry. When the Lumber Corporation has pretty much mined all of the lumber that it can economically mine, and it's down to whatever, skinny new trees it can no longer cost effectively harvest and then resell for a profit. It will basically pack up and leave a forest, and it won't matter to the corporation that there is a community of people that are reliant upon the corporation for their livelihood, and it will leave, and the community will oftentimes disperse as people go look for other work in other locations. On the flip side of that, if it's the environmentalists that want the logging companies out, the logging companies are very likely to organize the workers to use the argument that if they close down a forest to logging, that all of these people will lose their jobs. The reason for that is because that's the best story. It impacts the policymakers the most. It's the thing that people are most sympathetic to. So once again, we are back to framing. Similarly, when you discussed the confusion of science and the complexity and how long it takes for science to give us the information we need when we're talking about when not to use the precautionary principle, sometimes that is used to frame as an argument, even if we have at least some scientific information that would advocate for stepping in before it's too late. One of the natural resources, I'll call it practices. It started out as a theory, but it's now a widely used practice that I really like that can be applied really well, particularly when science is murky, is something called adaptive management. Adaptive management is when everybody agrees on a goal. Let's just go back to my logging example. In this case, you would have the local folks, the science folks, the corporate folks, all the different stakeholders would come together and they would agree on goals. Now, as we know, they don't always agree on how you get there. Environmentalists may think, you should get to a healthy ecology in the forest one way, whereas the lumber industry may feel that you need to get to it by, planting new plants after you've cleared out. And the environmentalists might not want you to clear out. So you've got all these different goals. At any rate, you set the ultimate goal, which would be the health of the forest, and then you agree, because you can't agree on how to get there, you agree on a first step. And maybe you can't agree on all the steps, but you agree on a first step, and then you stop and you see how that step is coming and whether it's getting you to your goal or not, and you adapt your next steps based on what you learned from the first step. And that way, instead of people making decisions about something without all the information in, they can gather the information as they go and not make decisions until they actually have the next bit of information. Okay, that's it for topic 5. I am really looking forward to seeing your policy ideas, your ordinances for topic 6. And hopefully by now everybody knows that's not due until Saturday. And I will see you on Blackboard. Have a great day.